Welcome to the Dawn Jarvis Show with Dawn Jarvis, the diverse nurse. And in this podcast, we will be talking about healthcare, self-care, diversity, careers, and well-being from a Black woman's perspective. We're really happy that you're here. So if you're ready, let's get on with the show.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Dawn Jarvis Show. I'm Dawn Jarvis, and this is the podcast which looks at the health and well-being of entrepreneurs. And sometimes it'll be with a guest, sometimes it'll be just me talking about health and well-being. I'm Dawn Jarvis, as I said, and I'm known as the diverse nurse. And I have a guest today. I know this lady from a mastermind we were both in together, and that's really wonderful. And I've been interviewed by her, and now I'm turning the tables, and I'm going to interview her. So I am joined by the lovely Yolanda Ransom. Hello, Yolanda. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm really, really happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me, Dawn.
You're very, very welcome. Now, Yolanda is in the US. How's the weather there today?
Well, they're saying it's 71. I haven't been outside yet, but it's 71 degrees and sunny. So yeah, I'll be out a little later.
Oh, fantastic. So it's lovely and warm today, lovely September day in London with us. So it's absolutely brilliant that you're here with us. And I'm thank you for joining us. And I just want to introduce you to everybody. So Yolanda Ransom is a wealth coach for women entrepreneurs. She's the CEO and founder of Yolanda Ransom Consulting LLC and is a certified financial coach, speaker, trainer, writer, and broadcaster. She helps women entrepreneurs elevate their money mindset and business finances to ascend to their next level of success with their money and wealth building faster and easier. I'm loving that, Yolanda. And I'm not very good at money, and we've talked about this, me and you have talked about this, but so how did you become to be a wealth coach? Tell me, so what's your story?
Yeah, so my story, Dawn, is it's been a journey coming here. And when I'm from New York, I'm a native New York. I was born and raised in New York. And, so I was exposed to so many people, oh my gosh, there are so many people in New York. And I grew up in New York, but I was like in a small bubble in a way because my family, we didn't have money. So even though there were all these people around me, I had a very limited experience with money. We didn't have much. My mom's a single mom. She was raising me and my brother and my sister. And so I grew up with a lot of lack and not knowing what was really available to me, not really even thinking of these things, not even realizing that I could have a lot of money or anything like that. It wasn't even a possibility. And so as I grew up, I didn't learn about money. Of course, we didn't have any. I didn't learn. My mom wasn't able to teach us because you don't have much, right? You just learn, to scrimp and all of this. And so as I got older, though, I realized that when I worked, I earned money, and I was really happy to earn some money. So I kept working. And as I got older, I was always, a fast learner. I was always really excited to work. I'm not a lazy person. So I love working and I love making money. And as I kept growing in my skills and everything, I earned more money. But the problem was I earned more money, but I didn't know how to manage it. So I'm getting more money, I'm in my 20s, my 30s, I'm earning more money, but I don't know how to handle it. So I racked up a ton of credit card debt along the way.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot. For me, especially back then, because this was a long time ago.
Oh, bless you. Come on. I'm not having
decades,
that.
Okay?
I'm not having that.
So I ran up like over 12K in debt, and I was like, oh my gosh. And at the time, my salary, I had a decent salary, but I didn't know how to manage the money. So I got into massive debt for me, and it was really a struggle. And I realized that I didn't want to keep living that way. Like I was taking out payday loans to pay for basic bills because my credit card minimums were high. They were taking up more and more of my salary. And I was so stretched, I couldn't even pay a regular phone bill. And I took out payday loans. And that's when I realized I was in a lot of trouble. And I realized that I was living a super stressful life. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. I'm not going to have a future like this. And so I got a lot of help. I got support from professionals. I went to, professionals in finance. I started researching things. I started trying different strategies that I was learning, and I got debt free with my personal credit. I got 100% debt free. I saved up a ton of money, over like $62,000, and I was in a really good place. But I was a good place financially, but not professionally, because what happened is, as I kept working, like I said, I've always been a hard worker, really smart, and all of this. But I noticed that the environment of a job wasn't really working for me. I didn't fit well. Like, even though I went in, I always did my best. It just didn't fit for my personality. And as I got older, which is one of the benefits of getting older, you become clearer about who you are and what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But I kept feeling like I had to fit myself into this, that whole thing about the square peg and round hole, I think it is, right? Trying to force myself, because I thought that's all I could do. And then I was in a job, and I decided that, I really loved helping people with money. I had come out of all of those money problems. I was always helping family, do this, do that, do this. And I realized I was really passionate about finance, personal finance. And so I was at my job, and I decided I was going to leave my job, go back to school and get a bachelor's, because that's the only way I could move into financial counseling. I needed that degree. Believe it or not, I was doing really, really well. I was making good money, but I never had a degree because I didn't see a need. And back then, you didn't need a degree. You did not need a degree for everything. So I got the degree. I became a financial counselor, and I enjoyed the work. I worked for a nonprofit for a little while. But the position that I wanted did not come to fruition. So I was like, wait a minute, this is not happening as I expected, right? I thought, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to be a financial counselor, I'm going to be able to make all this money. And I actually took a pay cut to do the work at a nonprofit. And then finally I was like, you know what, this is not really what I want to do. I don't want to work at another nonprofit for me. I want to do this in the way that I want to do it. And so that's when I started my business in 2017. And I started as Yolanda Ransom Consulting. And I've gone through like 3 different name changes
we all
to finally
that,
come back to, what'd you say?
We all do that.
I know. It's so funny. From one name to the next, and I'm back to Yolanda Ransom. So it was like full circle. And now I'm like really just tapping into who I am as a wealth coach. And along the way, when I first started, I wanted to work with professional women. I was like, okay, I want to work with professional women. But I started seeing a need with women entrepreneurs. I was like, women entrepreneurs are not getting information about what it is in day to day, what it's like to manage your personal finances. A lot of women go to school, they get the business degree, but you don't really learn, in my opinion, you don't learn the nuts and bolts of what do you do when you're a solopreneur. When you're, when you're sitting down and it's time to look at your money as a solopreneur or as an entrepreneur with a small business, and those things that they were being taught didn't seem workable. And so I was like, wait a minute, this is an area, I've been doing this for a few years. I know how to manage my business finances. I'm having success. My business is growing. I'm still in the game. I'm like, let me show ladies what I've done. And so that's how I, I came into this, and it's been so amazing. I love helping women entrepreneurs. And when they finally start tapping into their power with their business finances, and they feel like real true bosses in their business.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What a journey. And I've known you for a while, and I didn't know that was your background at all, so I really like what you said around, you had a history of sort of like personal debt, and that you turned it around, you studied it, and you got out of there, and then you thought, how can I help people to do the same thing? And then that sort of led on to not only so through your nonprofit work, but that's not only, obviously you can help people through that, because a lot of people are in that situation, aren't they? I've been in that situation myself. So, but and there is help out there, isn't there, to help people. That's the first thing I want to say, listeners. There is help out there if you're in that situation. And the other thing is then sort of like starting your own business, sort of like realizing that you could do that as a business, and then through that knowing that you could help other entrepreneurs to do the same thing because of your own journey. And I really like that, because I think it's a bit similar to my journey, in that you start a business and you think you sort of like, you know, people tell you, who are you helping? And then you think, oh yeah, I'm helping these people. But then as you go along, part of the helping people is helping fellow people who are in your situation. And I think a lot of people we know had full-time jobs and then looked at their skills and then decided, I can have a business. And then you go through a journey about, what is that business? Who am I helping? You know, what are my skills? You know, what's my skills and experience? What's my lived experience, if we want a better word, better expression? And how can I use that to help people? So I love that, Yolanda. That is absolutely fantastic. So you talked a lot about, well, I heard a lot about mindset of to sort of get you to where you are, because you came to some realizations about debt, and then you came to realizations about your job, and then you came to some realizations about your, you know, your ideal customer and who the person that you're, you know, that you're destined to help. You know, how important is mindset to a sort of woman entrepreneur, in your opinion?
Well, honestly, Dawn, I talk
That's a
about
biggie.
this a lot. Yeah, honestly, like 98%, 97, I don't know, like the percent is so, it's almost nearly 100, almost nearly. I mean, because most of it is how we're coming into it, like, because something that really has helped me a lot in my life is realizing that we can do actually it's this book, I think it's called You're a Badass. I love this book.
I know you do. I know you like that book.
Woo!
We'll put this in the show notes,
I love
friends.
Yeah.
This is Yolanda's Bible. Yeah.
yeah, one of them. I have a few, like 3 or 4. But one of the phrases that she put in there really resonated with me. It was like, 2 people can be doing the exact same thing, but it's how you're doing it. And that's what I saw in my own business, the mindset. Like, I was coming into it, even when I started, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm smart and I'm talented and I can just do this. I know how to, because this is what I brought to my jobs. This is kind of what you do in jobs. You're like, you do this, these are your set skills, and, you're really good at this. And it's a different mindset when you come in as a woman entrepreneur, because
Definitely.
It's not this, you build the structure, first of all. And the other thing is that what I started to see was this grunting and like, I'm gonna work hard thing. It wasn't really working. It wasn't working. I wasn't getting clients. I wasn't happy in my business. I wasn't even happy because I was, because it was a lot of pressure. I was pressuring myself. And then when I finally was like, I'm surrendering. I surrender. I'm going to ask for divine help. I need help. I need help. I need help. I need help. It was like a light bulb. I was like, wait a minute, let me surrender. I need help. And I'm not, I don't have Christian faith like that. I believe in the universe, and I have spirituality.
Yeah.
But it's like, let me surrender to divine guidance, my divine protectors to help me. And that's when I started to see a shift in myself, my mindset, how I was doing things. And then I started getting the clients. The clients started coming, the money started coming. And mindset is so huge, because if we're having fear underneath things, if we're, motivated by fear instead of by faith, true love, then our businesses are not going to be sources of joy and not going to be sources of wealth. Or if they are, it's not going to be to the level it could be because of the mindset. So that's what I really get. And I stress it a lot with my clients and my, private coaching, my boot camps. I'm like, this is the thing you want to work on every day. I work on my mindset every day, my money mindset specifically, because that requires its own type of support, so that we come into this with an abundant mindset and expecting and just really, really urgent, but not driven, like you were saying, right? About being driven. There's a different energy behind
Absolutely.
that.
And I so hear what you're saying, because and the difference, I suppose, between having a job and what drives you in a job, and also what drives you in your business, and the same energy that will help you be successful in your job isn't necessarily going to help you in your business. It's just a different energy. And also I think it's linked to who you help as well, in that, you know, so and I really feel that in your mindset is that, you know, you can work really hard. Yeah, you can work really hard. But if you're not and doing it for the wrong reasons is the wrong phrase. I'm not sure what the right phrase is. But if you do it with love, like you said, as with faith, that you're doing things to help people, then, you know, I truly believe this, and I do talk about this, that the jobs will come, the clients will come. And, you know, if you're going out there to help people, and it can't help but come. And that's what I really, really believe, that it's sort of like, it's a bit university, it's a bit woo woo, but, you know, it comes back to you. I really, really believe that. So if you go out there with a, you know, I know it sounds a bit fluffy, but a pure heart, you know, and good intent, then these things come back to you. And I really, 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 really believe that. So, you know, I'm all for that. But with that, and I think it's a process, isn't it? I know from my business that you sort of like, you start out day one, yeah, I've got business, going to do this, going to do that. And, you know, and you think, well, I need some startup money, you know, how am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to pay my gas bill? You know, and then you think, oh, but, you know, have I got clients coming in? And, you know, so what do you think the mistakes people make? Because I know for myself, like, I'm always, you know, constantly thinking, oh, have I got enough? Is there, and sort of going back to the mindset thing, you know, you talked earlier about a sort of scarcity, that when you were growing up, that your family didn't have money, and I was in the same situation. You know, we're about the same age, so right. 70s weren't easy, were they? For, you know, for our parents' generation, and, you know, that, you know, the access that, you know, my children have to things, and, you know, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? Sort of information and, you know, what's available. So, you know, so I think particularly if you've started from having a full-time job, you know, having a wage coming in every month, you know, you do have a bit of a scarcity mindset, and so you need to get over that, which I think that's some of the stuff that you teach. But, you know, what mistakes do women entrepreneurs make? You know, is it around mindset? Is it around a different way of thinking? Is it investing, you know, too much in fancy courses and bits of equipment? Or, you know, what mistakes do they make?
The mistakes that women entrepreneurs make coming into entrepreneurship is, there's a couple of things. So one of the mistakes that I made, and I'll start with myself, is I started off with the mindset that I was going to invest in support right away. Meaning I'm going to pay money. I'm going to pay money for people to help me with the business. I think a lot of women entrepreneurs do not see the importance and value of a coach and the right mentor to do this.
Yeah.
I think they come into it. When I started, Dawn, I was excited. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to work, because I knew I wanted to work with women. That I knew, because, you know, for various reasons, I preferred women. I was like, I'm going to work with women. I like working with them. We're on the same page. And I came in so excited, but I did not know what I was doing. And I knew I didn't know what I was doing. So I invested in a coach, but she wasn't the right person for me. Yeah. Right. So that's one of the things that women make a mistake. First of all, the first mistake is they don't decide and commit to investing money in a coach that can help them. They think that you're going to come in, they're going to do it. It's not the same thing as a job. You don't have the same mindset. You don't do the same things. That's one of the first mistakes. And I think the second one is that they don't find the right person. You need to find the right person to support you, to help you. When I decided to, in full transparency here, when I decided to move from focusing on professional women, it was a suggestion from my coach, my business mentor. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, why don't you look to the women entrepreneurs? Oh, because I'm so like focused. I'm going to do this way. You get really tunnel vision, especially depending on your personality. But you know, when you're very focused, you're like, okay, I'm going to do it this way, and this is my. And she's like, why not try women entrepreneurs? Because I was already talking to them, but I wasn't focusing on them. And then I was like, wait a minute. And then that's when I started to see that, you know, it's filling a need. And I wouldn't have been open to that, and it wouldn't have come to me. And if it did, it would have probably taken me a long time, honestly, to be for real, because I get very like tunnel vision and very focused. And also because, you have limited experience. When you have someone who guides you,
Mhm.
they come in with their perspective, they come in with their experience, they know the problems. And thirdly, I'm saying a couple mistakes. I also think that women entrepreneurs, they don't invest in coaches in various areas, because when you're a woman entrepreneur, you're going to need help with various areas. You're going to need help with your business. You're going to need help with your finances. You're going to need help with your life. So there's various things where it's important to invest money in getting that support. And I think so many women entrepreneurs are trying to do it on their own. And when you want to get there faster and easier, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think the main thing I'm taking from that is that you need to be open to help, and you also need to be prepared to invest in that help, because that's an investment in the business, and that'll be that you'll see the results from that later. I think sometimes people think, well, I can't afford that, that's not gonna help me right now. And then they do what you say, they do it on their own. And then later it costs them actually more money not to do it at the beginning than to do it later, when it obviously becomes a problem. And I think if you work a long time on your own, just thinking about yourself, you sort of you need different perspectives, don't you? You need a different lens to look at things. And that sort of goes to what you're saying about getting coaches for different areas of your business. I'm going to say though, Yolanda, that is pricey. So if somebody was going to invest in a coach, what would you say would be the minimum that they should do?
The minimum is really going to depend on the person and their financial situation.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest ways that for wealthy women entrepreneurs, and the way they invest, is they have business credit. They have business credit, business loans. They're not using their personal credit cards, and that's what I've used to invest in my business credit from the beginning.
Okay.
And so that's the way to be able to afford that, because now you have another line. Go get you some business. If you don't have it, go get you some business credit. Get as much as you can. Use it, because it is pricey when you're with. It's sort of depending on the coach you're with, right? It's pricey, but it's an investment. And it's funny to me, Dawn, because I'll say that when we look at investing, as when we're coming out of a job or as a professional woman, we will invest in the stock market, we'll invest in our retirement, and we'll look at it with, okay, I'm going to get the money later, and we have no problem with that. But when it comes to our business, we're like, I'm not going to invest now because I can't see. It's the same concept that you're doing it now, but you don't see all the rewards, but you trust that you're going to get the rewards because you're going to do what's needed. You're going to do what your coaches tell you, and it's going to lead to more money, even if it feels like, you can't do it now. And when you have credit, now you have a place to find that money so you can invest in that support.
Brilliant. Fantastic. And that's a way that your finances can help you to build wealth, isn't it? That's one of the ways, isn't it? Invest in your business so that for the future, so sort of like the tips you have for people are sort of like how you create wealth by investing in stuff that will pay off in the long run. Is that right, Yolanda?
Definitely.
Brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant. Now, I'm a nurse, so I cannot have this conversation without talking about, we've talked about anxiety, we've talked about, being in debt, which causes anxiety. Trust me, I know about this because I was in a similar situation. We've talked about, actually making the leap and the mindset to be an entrepreneur, and those are the people that you help, but that also causes anxiety. And one of the things I'm interested in as an entrepreneur, we've talked about drive, and what I've seen is a lot of entrepreneurs I know, they're very driven people, they've got a purpose, they've got a vision, they know what they're doing. And my observation is that sometimes that's at the expense of their own physical and mental health. So one of the things I'm asking all of my guests is, how do you keep yourself focused and positive? Also, how do you maintain your own health and well-being? And you might not actually. And then that's something perhaps we could talk about, you know, whether you actually get time to do that. Do we need to make time? Is that an issue? And I think that's linked to mindset as well, isn't it? Because, you know, if you're going to do this, you're going to have a business, if you're going to go for it, you need to not be sort of lying awake at night thinking, oh my goodness, I owe all this money. So, you know, that, you know, so I was just wondering what your feelings were about that, Yolanda.
Gladly, I'd be happy to talk about that, Dawn. So, yeah, so this is a big, big focus for me too, because since I am doing my business full time now, I am like, I need a certain level of energy. I need a clear mind. I see even more the importance of it. And for myself, some of the things that I do, I will say this: I'm perimenopausal. So if you, I mean, I don't know, whoever knows what it. Yeah. So I have seen some things happening, right? So one of the things, like you said, with sleep, okay, sleep is a big issue for me because I'm not sleeping as well because of it. It's very upsetting sometimes because, you know, for like all like 4 decades or whatever, or like over close to, you know, I sleep no problem. Now it's like, you know, waking up a lot and it's really hard to get 8 hours of sleep. So I realize how much my sleep is important to me because I need it to do my business and because I want to be at my best. So some of the things that I do for my own health and well-being, I'm like, one thing I refuse to do is be like this one person working like hours and hours and hours in my own business and being, you know, burnt out and all of this. And so some of the things that I do for my health is I meditate every day. I meditate. I start off in the morning with meditation. And I make sure I do that. I take time to like read some of my mindset books to help me in the morning. I notice I'm so different when I do that. So to me, it's like, you know, some people do different things in the morning for their routine. But I do the things that work for me. So it's like meditation, reading my books, journaling. Throughout the day, I'm getting up more from my desk because I have a home-based business. And I noticed that I was sitting way too much during the day. I have my Fitbit where you can do the relax thing.
Trust me.
I don't do, yes.
Just showing Yolanda my Apple Watch that makes me stand up every hour, because you need to do that, don't you, when you're working at home, or you just spend all your time in your office and then the whole day's gone and you think, oh dear. So yes.
Yeah.
I hear that. So that's,
and I'll admit I don't listen to it every time it tells me to get up. A lot of times, but it's made me more aware of moving. I take the stairs more. I try to walk more now. So these are some. Again, I need a lot more. I'm gonna admit it. I know this, but I'm keep building up, and you know, eating. You know, making more of my own meals. I don't like cooking, so you know that's a challenge.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. I think.
What'd you say?
I think that's fair enough, and you know, and somebody we both know would get a chef in, wouldn't they? So you know, but rather than if necessary to, but I suppose I'm working towards being able to get a private chef, so I don't have to cook at the minute. And I really like what you said around, you know, that it's, you know, it's a work in progress, and I think that it is for everybody, and it's one of the things I think as a business owner that I've had to think about, particularly after the pandemic, or sort of just maybe we're still in the pandemic, around, you know, so having a home-based business, you know, so you know, I always say, I used to walk to the train station every day and go to my office, and now my office is upstairs in my back bedroom, so you know, I now have to really think about, you know, do I drink enough water? Do I sleep enough? Do I eat healthily? You know, how much time am I actually sitting down? Do I get any fresh air? That sort of thing. And I love the way that you say that is something that has to be considered, and you know, and part of the sort of, and you know, for me is also is having some part of the coaching and the stuff is sort of like having a community of people that you can tap into, that you know we've been both part of. So you know, I think that's really, really important with health and well-being, and actually it helps with the health and well-being of your business as well, you know. So to be financially wealthy, emotionally healthy and happy, physically healthy and happy is all part of it, isn't it, really?
It definitely is. And some of the other things that I've been doing, one thing I do every day, Dawn, I'm like, it doesn't matter what I do. I make sure I take some time to, I watch a comedy. I'm like, I do what I like. I'm like, I've been this way for years. I'm like, I'm going to enjoy, like, I might be working. I love what I do, but I'm like, I'm going to make sure I do something I really like. I'm going to waste some time. I call it wasting time. I'm just going to watch a
Love that.
comedy, let my mind relax, talk to my husband, talk to my sister, get on the phone. And there was something else I was thinking when you were saying that. Oh yeah, and I got a therapist. I'm looking for a
Oh,
therapist
yeah,
because like I said, I'm going through a transition with my age, with my business, and I'm like, you know what, I want some more support. So that's something, and I'm saying this openly because I have resisted this for a while, like the
yeah,
therapist,
yeah,
because you just want to, I'm so strong and yeah, I need some help. Okay. I need some more
yeah,
support. So I'm like,
yeah.
so that's another area, I am, I found one and in all of that. So that's another area I'm like, yeah, I want to be my best me. Okay. So I need help and support and these various things to
I
help me
love
do
that.
that.
I want to be my best me. I love that. And thank you for sharing about the therapist. And you're not the first person to share that. And it's very important, isn't it, to not only have some community, but also to have someone to talk about those things that you can't talk about with other people. And, one of the risks of being a solopreneur is being the isolation, and talk about coping with those things, and people knowing those things, and sort of like, and the transition you talked about, sort of like, perimenopause, that time of your life in your business and everything, combined with the health and wellness, is really, really important as a business owner. So we're coming to the end, Yolanda. It's been so
Okay.
brilliant to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming. And I just wanted to end with, is anything that you want to, any tips that you can, that as we end the interview, that you want to share with the audience and to take away?
Yeah. So the main tips I want to share is really look at your business and your business finances as a tool for you to build wealth. It's not, when you think about your business finances, really look at them that way, as a way to increase your wealth instead of this is a chore, this is a task. This is your opportunity to build wealth by seeing where your business is, how it's doing, and what's selling for you, what's not selling, what you can sell more of, how you can make more money. And when you look at those numbers, now your position, you can make real decisions. So that's the first thing. And the second thing that I want to really stress is really keep in mind that your business finances are not extensions of your personal finances. They are very separate. They have separate purposes. So if you're using personal accounts, you need to stop immediately, get business accounts, find out what you need. And the government gives you, wherever you are, you get a lot of breaks, tax breaks, benefits from having the business accounts. So make sure you have them, because a lot of us, we're coming into this, we don't know what it takes to run a business. We don't know how to handle business finances. So we come in with this mindset of the same thing you do with personal, and it's not the same. And the government doesn't treat it the same, so you shouldn't be doing it. And so make sure that you are separating them so you get the maximum benefit and you have the maximum opportunity to to make a lot of money and build a lot of wealth through your business finances.
Fantastic. I love that. And I'm really glad you got that in around personal finance versus business finance, and not to treat that the same, because I think that is so important. And I also think from a mindset point of view, that makes it real. I know that when I got my business bank account, and we've talked about this, Yolanda, it makes it real. It's like, yes, I am a business owner. This is proper. I've got to do accounts. I've got to, talk to the government about finances. And it makes it serious. And it also makes people take you seriously, because it is proper, isn't it? When you set up your LLC or a limited company in the UK, it's real, isn't it, really? And that's part of the mindset, because you are what you say you are, aren't you? You are what how you behave and what you embody. So I love that, Yolanda. That's fantastic. Do you have a gift or something so people can work with you and keep in contact with you? How can our listeners keep in contact with you, Yolanda, and hear some more of this fantastic wisdom that you've got to share with us?
Well, yeah, listeners can contact me. by following me on Facebook and Instagram. It's Yolanda A. Ransom. My name is Yolanda Ransom, but Yolanda Ransom was taken, so I have Yolanda A. Ransom.
Who is this Yolanda Ransom? Let's find her.
Yeah, like a ransom note too. It's so funny. People are like, how do you spell it? I'm like a ransom note. Do you know what a ransom note is? That's how it is. Yolanda Ransom. But you can find me under Yolanda Ransom Wealth Coach on other platforms, and just go to yolandaransom.com. You can go straight to the website. Let's just do that. Why don't you go there? You'll find all my social media sites, and you'll also find the link to book a call with me, a wealth building clarity call. So it's a complimentary call where I'll talk to you about where you are with your business finances, what's stopping you, what's keeping you from building more wealth, and recommend my next best steps for you on what to do with your business finances, and offer, if it's good, we're a good fit, we can work together in one of my coaching programs. And if not, I'll offer you my recommendations for your next best steps for you to get to your next level of financial success with your business finances.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Yolanda. So many gems there to share, and that you shared with us. Really appreciate it. Really enjoyed this. I'll be putting all of Yolanda's information and links in the show notes, and let us know, any comments or anything around that. So, as a person who sort of has avoided finance, I'm going to be honest, rubbish at maths, as we say in the UK. It's sort of a bit of a taboo subject, something that I put to one side. But I've learned through you and through others, and also through the business, it's really important and actually contributes to your sort of like well-being as well, having sort of like a financially sound background and knowing all that's working well. So Yolanda can help you with that. So I'd encourage you to get in touch with her. And I want to say thanks again, Yolanda, for joining us, and take care, and bye to everybody who's watching the show. I'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Dawn Jarvis Show. If you enjoyed this episode, there are 2 things you can do. Number 1, leave Dawn a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. It would mean so much to her if you took a moment out of your time to post your thoughts on the show. It will help Dawn reach so many more people and help them with their well-being. Number 2, subscribe to Dawn's email list, the Diverse Nurse Digest, using the link in the show notes. Until the next time, thank you and goodbye.